All right, Tim's stat deep dive. First player, Hamiso.
Gets a bit better that intro every week, and I quite like it. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, more commonly known as the Hammer. 639K, break even of 11, dual CT dub, fullback. Now, at fullback, you'd be like, there's better ones in there, don't really need to consider him. But at CT dub, here's interesting. Mate, it's a tough run home for the Dolphins is the concern, but take out his 4-point injury-impacted game earlier in the year. I owned him for that, shock. He's averaging 84.25 for the season. A bloke with his upside that you can get in at CT dub. What do you reckon?
I really like it. Am I imagining this? Did we have a conversation about Hamiso last week? We were close to bringing him in, weren't we?
We did. I mean, I had him for most of the season.
Yeah.
And then when he got injured and Origin, I got rid of him, but we almost considered getting him back instead of, because I've still got Fletcher Sharp, so that fullback position still needs to be upgraded. But yes, we did talk about him.
Yeah, I think over the next few weeks, I like the play. I mean, the Dolphins, I don't think they're going to get blown out in too many games. They seem to just hang in every single contest. He can just score tries out of absolutely nowhere. And, mate, if you take out that 4, as you said, the scores are incredible.
Yeah.
If you take out the 4 and his lowest score after that, which was a 41, hasn't gone sub 58 in any of his games.
I know. The concern is that draw. So the Titans matchup this week is fantastic for him again. Could score very well. I assume there'll be a lot of points in that one. He then goes to the Roosters, Warriors, Bulldogs, Storm, Broncos, and Knights, which is away. It's a difficult draw, but as I said, we're assessing him available at CT dub rather than fullback. It's good.
I will say this. I love the scores from earlier in the season. Cowboys, Dragons, Titans, Tigers, Warriors, Sharks.
Yeah.
Aren't too many good sides in there.
Soft.
To be fair, yeah. I still like it, though. I think he's a premier player in our game, and I think he'll come up with big plays in every game, regardless of who they're playing, to be honest with you. So I don't mind it. Once again, if you are going to do it, it has to be in the CTWs, not in the fullback slot, but I like it, and I like having guys in my team that are good to watch, Timbo.
He's fun. I started the year with
right
him.
Up there, yeah.
And to be fair, probably my second best move of the year behind Tyron Wishart. And he was just awesome to own.
Yeah.
Just electric. And even at the start, he was look, there might be a few low ones, but there'll be some big ones to balance out. There hasn't been low ones.
Yeah.
So he's a fair play. Not for me with the draw, but I can see why people would be keen.
All right, our next man, one of my favourite CBAs, and I'll tell you what, Timmy, I didn't go too heavy on him at the start of the season as far as like our CBA draft and all that, just because I thought he's too young. He next year will be the year for Casey McLean. Not only has he managed to get in there, mate, he's well and truly held his own. He's been going great guns. I'm expecting some very positive stats here. Yeah,
well, the injury to Paul Alamotti all but I think it locks in his spot for basically the rest of the season, at least the short-term future. And you look at his numbers, 204K, so he's bottom dollar, played 2 games, so he gets his first price rise this week, a break-even of negative 27. He's averaging 47 in his 2 hit-outs thus far, and you go, okay, for that price, that's solid, but not overly appealing. But in those 2 games, it's been the 2 games without any of the Origin stars backing up. In those games, he hasn't recorded a single major attacking stat. Every single one of these Penrith rookies that come in, they don't even have to be a rookie. Whoever it is who end up in the outside backs, they all have amazing base. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
In his 2 games combined, 34 tackles, 9 tackle breaks, 26 runs. So you look at his base there. They've got a soft run home, the Panthers. I can't really fault the buy of him. The only thing would be maybe job security, Roo. How do you see it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm filthy that I used my last boost last week because this week going Bradman Best to him would have been fucking perfect. I'm pretty sure, mate, I can't do it this week because I've got other trades lined up, but I'm pretty sure that I'll go to him next week.
Yeah, well, last week I thought the pick of the cheapies, like in terms of ways of freeing up cash, was Jesse Arthurs, and I got him in. He's got 45 without a try. Yep. Broncos look good. I'm more than happy with that. But now looking at McLean now, I'm going, oof, he looks like an absolute goer.
Yeah, I reckon if there's a way for you to get him in, I think it's worth doing. And look, I have a look at their side at the moment. With Alamotti out, Dylan Edwards will come back in the next few weeks. The only way I can see him falling out is if they choose to play Dane Laurie on the wing and Taruva in the centres. But, we spoke pre-show. It was only 2 or 3 weeks ago. Taruva was dropped for Dane Laurie. Dane Laurie just got injured. Then it was all forgotten about very quickly. Sounds bizarre, but I think Casey McLean is locked in.
I don't think it sounds bizarre. I think he's...
Well, it sounds bizarre from where he's come from.
Yeah.
Like he was playing SG ball at the start of the
Remarkable.
year. Like it's remarkable.
But
that's fair.
you only need to watch him play to see that he fits very well into that side too.
100%,
He doesn't look like he's as young as he is, as inexperienced as he is. He's got confidence, so he fits right in.
Now, if I'm devil's advocate, Timbo, left centre, we know from watching Taylor May at the start of the year, don't tend to get a lot of ball. Is that something that worries you? Or is Nath Cleary being back in and being a bit more dominant? Does that fill you with a bit more hope?
It's not really a concern, and the reason being is that you're buying him as like a 6th or 7th CT dub to free up cash to fund big trades elsewhere.
Yep.
If he was a bloke who'd bring him to play in his CT dub every week, you'd be like, okay, you don't want him to plot away with 40 points every week like Taylor May did for us early in the season. So as that bloke that you play, if you need to, and he's got that base, I think it's fine. I'm like, you could play him with those softer matchups most weeks and be relatively comfortable with it, but I don't think you'll have to. I think he's a back end of the season players injuries hit, so I'm okay with it.
I think the other thing about Casey McLean that I really like is that you're going to get towards the back end of the season and the Penrith Panthers, I think they will rest guys at some point. Surely Casey's going to be the last guy they rest. He's going to be the freshest one out of all of them. So I think there will be a point at some point at the back end of the season where you will use him and he'll be handy to have as an extra player. So I like it. And in good matchups, which he's got a few incoming, mate, if he's scoring 50 without any attacking stats, if he can just be on the end of one or two good things, you could be looking at a huge score there.
Hey,
so
a few incoming. Dragons, Knights, Eels, Storm a tough one. Even that's in Penrith. Raiders, Rabbits, Titans, they're all good.
Yeah. I'm not ruling out him being a reserve option here.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
think he could be a really, really good play. Cat that got him last week, I'm very jealous of that. Very, very jealous. Okay, next up on the deep dive, Payne Haas. I was sort of looking at him, mate, as like after their buy trade in potentially. I don't think I'm going to have the trades to do it now. Realistically, I don't think I can afford to spend trades on front row forward anymore. What do you got for me on him?
Nothing that's going to surprise you, but because of injury early in the season and then leading into Origin, he hasn't been overly relevant to Supercoaches this year. So we actually haven't spoken about him that much, but 700K, break even of 100. His lowest score this year in 11 games is a 52. In 20 games last season, his lowest score was a 55. He hasn't scored under 50 since round 23, 2022, which was against the Storm. In that game, 40 points in 52 minutes. The dude is a freak. The Broncos having to, win essentially every game to make finals. He's in for a big finish to the year.
Yeah, as I said, I had him in the plans to bring him in. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it work now, but mate, as you just alluded to, the Broncos just can't afford to not have him playing enormous minutes. He's going to go huge. So if you're in a spot, like if my name was Kat and I had slightly longer hair and was heaps better looking than me, I would probably go and buy.
And you still had 2 boosts.
And I still had 2 boosts and all of her trades, which was more so the point. I would probably go and find a way to get Payne Haas in, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Do you think you're going to be able to do it?
He's in my expanded plans.
I love that.
Yeah, so I can go Terrell May to him.
Yeah.
And I just look at Terrell and I'm just like, well, probably averages anywhere between 50 and 60 on their own home. If I was to put a number on it, he probably averages 54 points on their own home. Payne Haas could average 80 playing big minutes. That's a big deal. That's a worthwhile trade if that's to eventuate.
Yeah, fair.
Roosters also have another buy. It's tempting.
Yeah, very tempting. I just don't think I have that. How many trades you got left now?
I've got 10 before this week.
Okay, so I've got 9. Yeah, okay, sweet. Yeah, I don't think I've got the trades to do it, but I would commend anyone that does. Brown. Now, we're talking of the Nathan, the Dylan. I don't know any other Browns.
No.
No, yes. Who? What are we talking?
So New Brown.
Oh, it is New Brown.
No.
I was like, what?
Dylan.
Trade him back out, Cat.
Dylan Brown. Again, nothing that's probably going to blow your mind. It was more that just a really good discussion point this week because he's the second most traded out player. This season, averaging 64 points, which underwhelming based on recent years. But his lowest score of the year, 42 points back in round 4. That was his only score under 50 all season. He's just been incredibly consistent without going big, without going low. My question is, with a lot of people able to go him to Nathan Cleary this week, hold or sell?
I sold last week.
Did ya?
Yeah. I don't rate this Parramatta side at the moment. I think that with Junior out as well and Mitch out, I don't believe in this Parramatta side at all. And I personally think a lot of people will hold on to Dill Brown for all the reasons you said. He hasn't scored too badly, blah, blah, blah. I want guys to the back end who I trust can go big.
Do you still have Lockie Galvin?
I'm selling him this week.
So I flipped Lockie Galvin last week.
I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he went quiet on the weekend.
It was great, yeah. Real happy to see him turn up.
Honestly, I'd rather have Galvin over Dill Brown for the run home.
I think Spy said similar last night. It's tough. Initially, I said I'd absolutely prefer Brown because I think the Tigers, it's funny, I think the Tigers could throw in the towel and we saw signs of it in recent weeks. But Parramatta could also do the same.
Yeah.
I looked at the draws and I didn't realise how good the Tigers run home was. And I'm like, Paris is really tough. So it almost has some dead level for me. I would still sell Galvin first, but there's not much in it.
Mate, this Parramatta draw, Melbourne, Warriors, Penrith, Roosters, Resurgent Broncos.
Yeah, it's not.
They're going to be put through an actual shredder.
Yeah,
It's not worth it.
Wow.
A whole
Cat off the high roads. I love that.
17 grown men actually getting put through a shredder.
Yeah, wow. We would like Parramatta to invite us back at some point, Cat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but I sold Dill Brown last week, mate. I think I sold him to DCE. I'd rather have that upside there.
Where'd you get the DCE idea?
From you. Full credit to you. Fucking taking advice of someone in the fucking thousands.
I know. We're sitting here every week and you're still doing it.
So yeah, I'm okay with the Dill Brown sell. And then I'm going to sell Galvin this week and move Jaden Campbell up there. So I've now got halves that I'm confident can score 100 at any given week.
That's the thing. Like Dill Brown to Cleary, if he's your ticket to him, pull the trigger for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the 5'8" slot going, is there many better than him at 5'8"? I'm not overly convinced, but the draw's bad.
Yeah, the draw's tough. So, yeah. Have you still got Dill Brown?
I have both of the players in question. I have
Dill
Galvin
Brown and
Dill
Galvin?
Brown.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.